Okay, let's talk about the FFAR. I mean, when the game first launched and this gun was in the game, I never really used it, man, because obviously I just started doing like the launches and stuff like that. But I know that this thing was overpowered because a lot of people were saying the same thing. I've seen a few clips as well, man, on YouTube about how strong it was, and it did look very, very strong. And obviously it's had a nerf, and that nerf, from what I read on Reddit and YouTube and stuff and what I've seen on there, the nerf killed the gun. And in multiplayer, I don't think I've ever seen anybody using this gun, to be honest. Maybe if I've seen somebody using and them doing the camos as well, like I was, but you rarely see this gun. And the thing is, like, it's like this what I was saying about like when the nerf weapons, when like the nerf some weapons, the nerf them that much and them just completely dead. And there's no variety in the game for anybody to use different weapons. You'll always see the same things. If you're like a high KD player, mate, all you're going to see is MP5s and AKs. So it kills the guns, man. So nobody wants to use them. But when I come to it, like when I was using this, it already had the nerf, so I thought, oh, this is going to be bad. And I'll be honest, man, a base weapon, the way like the recoil, it just kicks up, and it's got to be the highest recoil gun in the game. It's insane, man. It really does kick up, and I really do genuinely feel sorry for console players in trying to get the Dark Matter and the DM Ultra, because how this gun kicks up on a controller. I mean, I remember playing on controller back in the day, man, and controlling recoil on controller compared to PC, it's a completely different world, man. On a PC, it's so easy to control recoils compared to being on controller, so I can imagine that this one is an absolute nightmare if you're playing on console. But as you start using the gun, you do start to learn the recoil pattern, and once you start adding attachments, it's a shame that people don't really use this gun a lot, because the damage is great, man. And when I learned the recoil pattern and I was just bringing the recoil down, I was having a good time with it, I'll be honest. But it's just, the recoil, it will put people off straight away, man. And the gun, you won't see nobody using this gun, which is a shame, like I says. But that's just how it is. You got to accept it until like I think they do need to give it another buff and just cut the recoil in half, because it's the way that the recoil is so high. There is no point in using it. You can just use the AK and just be done with it. But this is the one that I was dreading doing on the assault rifle side of things, man. But the Krig for me was worse. The Krig is awful. I hate the Krig. I don't want to talk about the Krig. It's awful. I enjoyed doing this one. The FFAR, man, like I said, once I learnt the recoil pattern, I started enjoying it. And the only problem is with this one, every other assault rifle that I've done, the camos, long shots, I've done them in core. It's not really been an issue, apart from the FFAR, because of how much it kicks up. I felt the need that I had to move over to hardcore to get my lung shots, and that's how I did it. I jumped onto hardcore for lung shots. So if I got any tips for the FFAR, just start doing it as normal. You can do it because the damage is good on it. When you start getting onto lung shots, just jump into hardcore Nuketown, man, and just jump on the back spawn and just get your lung shots. Nice and simple, and you can get them done. I wouldn't really recommend trying to get lung shots with this gun in core, because the way that it kicks and it bounces, man, even if you can control the recoil, you're still going to struggle for the lung shots at range with this gun. So just jump into hardcore, man, and you can get them done nice and easy. Put like a 3x on it, that's what I did. Just one tapping everybody across the map. It was quite simple, and I got them done quite quick, to be honest. Okay, the attachments for the FFAR. Like I said, man, this gun, it does kick up quite a lot, man. So you do need to still do a little bit of recoil management with this. Like, you still need to try and control your recoil. It definitely needs to buff this gun. They need to tone down that recoil because it's just too high at the moment. But the attachments that I was using was optic. I was using the mill stop on this because the iron sights are quite good, but again, man, they're not so clear. So the mill stop I used on this one. The muzzle I used the Solcom Eliminator purely for the vertical recoil control, because like I said, man, recoil is key on this one. The barrel is a takedown barrel. I went with this one because of the extra damage range rather than the Task Force barrel. I preferred this barrel on this, it just worked better for me. I'll try between these two. Underbarrel, Field Agent, as always, because you know, recoil control with this weapon, recoil, man. And the last mags and the salvo mags, just because you got the extra rounds in the gun. So yeah, I mean, I've tried this weapon in Warzone as well. And this weapon being ported over to Modern Warfare and Warzone, to say, it's like the recoil feels different in Warzone than it does in Cold War. Like, it just, and you do see people using this gun in Warzone, but people don't really use it in Cold War. So I don't know if there's something a little bit different between these two games, man, because, you know, I've used this in Warzone myself and the recoil isn't like it is in Cold War. So something needs to be done there, to be honest. Like I said, man, regarding the challenges, you guys know that the assault rifles pretty much the same thing over and over again. Do you know what I mean? And there'll be a couple of weapons that stand out. What do you need a little bit more work on and a little bit change up in the way that you play and the way that you do your challenges, as to say. But like I said, man, with this one, the FFAR, everything I did normally in core. And like I said, man, it's a good gun. Do you know what I mean? Once you can learn that recoil pattern, man, and make this weapon shoot straight, this thing, it lasers. I'd love to have tried this before it got nerfed. Like I said, I never did, because I always focus straight on the camos and the challenges straight away in these games. I don't rush getting Dark Matter or DM Ultra. I just like to, this is how I like to play, do you know what I mean? And how I like to do my camo grind and stuff. But I would definitely, man, drop it into core, try and unlock these attachments. Maybe change a couple of the attachments up, depending on your play style, man. But the key for this one would be to learn that recoil pattern. As soon as you can learn that pattern, then you'll be able to progress a lot more with this gun. And like I said, this gun, I hated doing the Krieg, you know what I mean? This one, I didn't really hate doing it. I just had to learn the recoil pattern. But I don't know, man, it's like I said before, when they nerf some weapons and certain things that get nerfed, you know, sometimes it's a little bit too much. I understand that sometimes you need a little bit of nerf, but the way that they nerf this gun, from the stuff that I've seen about it before, fair enough, it was probably a little bit overpowered. And like I said, it does need a little, like some tweaks, you know what I mean? But not nerfing it the way that they nerf this gun, man. The recoil is insane. Like, if you're a player that don't really care about recoil and learning how to control the patterns, you know, you're never going to use this gun. And that's a fact. You'll never pick this gun up and just have a good time, because the recoil is just going to kick everywhere. It's like I said in previous videos, man, I'm the sort of player to mix things up a bit, and I will change my weapon. I won't just use one weapon all the way through the year on this game and on the previous games. I like to mix things up, man, because I'll get bored using the same weapon. Like, I don't know how people play Warzone and use the same thing over and over again. Do you know what I mean? Because like, my brain can't take that. I need to mix things up a bit for me to enjoy different things. But I hope they buff this, because I'd like to go back to this one and just use it, you know what I mean, every now and again. But the way that it is at the moment, the effort that it takes, I just can't see myself doing it. There's too many assault rifles in the game, apart from the Krieg, that I'm going to use over this. It's just one of them things. So fingers crossed, man, in the future, I hope we get like a nice, you know what I mean, a weapon balance to everything. Every gun that just mixes things up a bit. And the FFAR gets a little bit of a buff as where we can start using it again, man, because I like variety in my games. So hopefully we get there. And once again, man, I want to thank everybody who's subscribing to my channel. Like, it's crazy, man. I looked at it the other day, like, and I've gained like another 400 subs, and it's insane, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad that the videos are helping, and you know, I know videos like assault rifles and SMGs, you guys know how to do those, you know what I mean? I just like to give my thoughts on the gun. Also, if you guys use Twitter, drop me a follow on there, man. I've started using it quite a lot. Was FPS. So yeah, man, nice one.